Okay, so now what we can do is turn off our rig. And so now all we see is our joints and our mesh. Okay, and then from here, if you select the mesh and we go to right click and say paint skin weights tool, and then what will come up is our tool settings. And so in the paint skin weights tool, we can see what I like to do initially is lock everything. So lock all the joints. So I think if we just go through, we should be able to actually just, I thought there was a way that you could, actually if we go and select all of our joints. So if you go to from the top root all the way down to the bottom, and if you right click and say lock selected, yeah, that throws everything on a lock. And so now when we look at the root, okay, just kind of looking through the root just to see what we got here. And so what you want to think about is like when we are rotating, say, from our hips, we want kind of our, I want basically this midsection to stay all with a lot of the hips. So I'll probably put this, I'll probably put a majority of the root. So we'll look at the hips as well. And so that doesn't look too bad. We do want to take some of this away from the leg. And so if we take away, so actually I'm just unlocking the left leg and the hips. And so what I'm going to actually do is once I take away from the left leg, it's going to, what it's going to do is basically what I'm taking away from the left leg, it's going to add to the hips because that's the one that I have unlocked. So with that, I will go to, actually I want to, I believe it's scale. And soft brush is good, and the opacity set to 1, and then I believe if I set the value to 1, this is actually just taking away from this area because I don't want the leg influenced by this. So just coming through here, just painting that out. So I don't want to see any white on this at all. And so when we go back to our hips, we should be able to see, and then also I don't want any of this region. I don't want his belt buckle going at all. Anything to nothing going to that. So just painting all that out. Back to 0. Actually, we can say replace and actually do 0 value. And this, I'm just painting on anything that's associated with this belt buckle. And so, because I don't want anything going there. So I'm just kind of going through here. And also with the left leg, I don't want the left leg influencing nothing over here. Nothing on the right. Okay. So I'm just actually replacing these with 0 weights. So this is going to take those weight assignments and move them. I don't want anything over here. And I'm going to switch to the hard brush just to make sure that this hits it There's no zero weights on the right side. I don't want anything going to the right from the left. And the way that this is kind of pushing over into the right, that's okay because it's actually right down the center. It's almost like 50 degrees, or 50%, not 50 degrees, 50%. So with that leg, so now if we select the hips, we can see that it should have grabbed a majority of what we were actually after. So with those hips, I'm actually going to lock the left leg right now and then unlock the root because I'm just going to be affecting the root and the hips right now, and we'll fix the belt buckle. Okay, with the hips selected, we're going to leave it on replace and 100% value, and opacity is set to 1. And so from here we should be able to just select and just paint these values all on the belt buckle. So now anything that goes to the hips, once those hips are moving, this belt buckle is going to actually stay with our hips. Okay, and since this doesn't look like it's symmetrical, I'm just going to paint all these. So I'm not sure why I didn't do symmetry on this. And yeah, it definitely does not look symmetrical whatsoever. Got some weird asymmetry going on with the belt buckle. Could have been laziness, just wasn't paying full attention to. So I'm just actually hitting this. So belt buckle. Alright, so with those hips, so now root, yeah, there's nothing on the belt buckle, which is good. And so with that, with the hips, I actually want to just do an add and say 0.15 value, and just go through and just kind of hit this a little soft with this. And this is basically taking away from the root. So it's just adding a little bit more percentage of weighting. So this should take away. So from here, there's a, so under the, I think it's under the skin, yes. Under skin, there's mirror skin weights, and if you option box that, and this is what my settings are set to as YZ, and I'm going positive to negative. So positive being positive X, and negative X is over here. And so I will say closest point on surface, and we'll say closest joint, and actually we'll say 1 to 1 and then closest joint, and then that should do a fairly good job of shooting that over from to the other side. So we'll just hit mirror, and that looks like it did exactly what we're wanting. And you can tell just by, see this one with this, actually mirrored it just fine. And I'll also just kind of go through the animation, and now I'm just kind of looking through here, just kind of look and see what I'm getting. So So it looks a little cleaner. Still getting a little bit of stretch, but that's from the spine, spine 1. And so I believe if we go to, so from the root, let's see, so the root, so I want to take some of this okay, so root 1, let's look at our spine 1. So spine 1 we want to remove from here. So we don't want, so there's on the hips, so there's none on the root, so we can lock the root and so leave the hips on, and spine 1 we can uncheck. And so go back to spine 1, and we're going to replace and go to 0 value, and I'm just actually, whoops. So going to a solid brush, and I'm just, I don't want any of the belt buckle going to the spine at all. So I'm just removing that. So I just want to kind of go over, and actually to change the brush size, I know that I probably haven't told you how to do this, but if your brush size is just too big or too small, if you hold down B and then you drag left and right, left to right, or right to left, right to left, and then once you let go of the B key, you're back to brush. You can use that brush. So if it's too big, you just want to size that down. You just hold down B and then left drag down, and then you can actually go and work to the actual, whoops. So I'm just hitting Control Z if I actually accidentally hit one of the verts that I'm not trying to. So I just want to hit these. So just putting these all to 1. So that belt should be staying. So I also want to kind of remove, actually I'm going to scale and then turn the value to 0.1 and then up my brush, and this is just taking a little away from this area because I don't want this I don't want this being influenced so much. Definitely not through here. So just a little less influence. It's just basically removing influence from there. Let's see what this looks like. And it kind of tightens that area up a little bit better, which is good. So this is basically putting this back to the root, stuff I'm taking away from. And from here, well, if we go back to 0 and do a mirror, so skin, mirror skin weights, that should have kept our 1-to-1 closest joint. It's a mirror, and that should, it looks good. And then we'll just go through that. And so currently we're not looking at anything else other than our hips. Actually, that I might want to do just a little bit of adjustment to the belt line. Yeah, maybe a little bit to the belt line there. So what I'll do is go to add. Oh, also replace. I want to get rid of these. So go to 0. And so I don't want these added anywhere. nothing to the belt buckle, especially at the spine. I don't want the spine affecting that belt buckle at all. So now what we can do is add and then say 0.15 and go to the soft brush, and then I'm just hitting this area right here. So I'm just adding just a little bit. Whoops. Getting a weird joint interaction right there. That's okay. Looks good. All right, and then back and do another. So I have a I have the a shelf button which does the same thing. Okay, and then turn off spine 1 for now, and the hips should look pretty good. Hips look okay. So I'll just kind of looking through this rotation. Alright, so now I'm actually looking, we're going to work on the legs. So we're going to go down from our hips into the leg and feet. So